My first impression would be that they all feel comfortable in what they're doing and they're having fun, like on this one, and on that one they look like they're quite vain about it, very proud about it. So that's what I like about that one, and the different contrasts between Kerrang and Q. For this one I would say, is it rock? Metallica-like style band, look like they've been influenced by them. And U2, I would say that the very indie kind of genre, I don't quite know, but they look more indie, I would say, than U2, but I do recognise, they're very easy to recognise. I like the presentation of magazines because it looks very fun, and I like how the first thing you see is the masthead, which entices you, and then you have the images, and the images you can tell a lot by the images. Like that one you can tell that they're very mysterious, this one you can tell that they're very wacky, and that one you can tell that they're very mellow and cool about what they're doing. I would say the image, all the images on it. I like the images at the bottom, I like the main image, and I also like the little taglines at the side which gives you information about what's in the magazine, because if they weren't there then I wouldn't be able to know what's in it straight away and be enticed. I like the mixture of red and black, but I think that would suit something more like this, so I think this works very well. Like the red contrasts well with the black, and then the white kind of grey background emphasises the black font. And for that one, I think that's a lot more messy. I wouldn't prefer that one over this one. I think this is a bit more simpler, but still has enough on it to be enticed and like it. For the contents pages, I think I prefer this one, because again it's simple, but it has everything it needs on, and it has a main image and something that this looks a lot clumped and very crowdy compared to that one. You can see the image and people can relate to it, and I like the little review things they have at the bottom, and I think it's sectioned very well, with the text being on the left, so that people are more know that's the main stuff. The photography on that one is a lot more simpler, but captures everything, so people have the same eye level as the band members, and they can relate to them and feel like they're part of that band, and they're gazing along the land in which they're at, which connotes like the piece about the music. And for this one, I think because this is more like a rock magazine, I think this is very well used to emphasise that it is actually a rock magazine, and the images around, and this looks a lot more messy, and I like the little images that they've put in to the contents page to add that extra feel to it. I think I prefer this one because they've sectioned the pictures and the text separately, so you can look at one and then look at the other after, at your choice, whereas that one they kind of have the images with the text on its side, but when they put the image across the double page spread, it looks like, I mean, it signifies that it is all part of the same story, and I like that. I prefer about that because you can look at the pictures and you can relate to the pictures, but then you can read the text after of your choice. Again, I think I prefer the black, white and red, but that's all depending on what genre the magazine is. Like, they're very good colours for this rock magazine, whereas I still think this is used very well. I like the blue, white and red, blue, white and black, and I like that because the text is emphasised, but then the images stand out with in contrast with the text. But I would prefer this one.
Q magazine's cover, because it's more eye-catching and it looks more professional, whereas that's quite scary. Like the picture of the people.
Yeah.
This one's more interesting, but I just like that one because it's more eye-catching, and like this guy looks like he's going to catch a ball, but he looks mysterious. This one again. Because I like the lights in the background. Do you mind if I say this one again?
It's fine.
Okay, that one because I like it because it's structured and it's easy to follow, whereas that's just a bit messy. This one's more interesting. That was quite boring. I don't know. I prefer this one to look at. That was a little bit boring. Definitely this one, because it looks like, because the images are all different, so you want to read about it. It makes like all the images are like exciting, whereas this is quite like, because these are all like real life like photos, so you want to read about it, but they're like professional photos, like shot in a studio or wherever, so it just doesn't really, I just don't really want to read it as much because it don't look as interesting. I like both layouts, but I like how they have, I think they're questions, or I like how they use bold in some of it, whereas this is all basically the same font, but that's quite nice because it's got like different font in it.
I prefer this one. Okay.
Why?
Because I prefer the colours, and I like it's more structured as opposed to all over the place, so you can see things more clear what's in. And it's got like a list of people who are going to be in there, like straight when you look at it, as opposed to like at the bottom. I just think the pictures are up there. They're both quite similar, but I think this colour scheme works better because I think the yellow goes better with this, but I think that one's quite good because it's used on purpose. I prefer this one because I think it's a good image, it's got a background, it looks more professional. This one looks a bit like amateur. I like this one again because it's more structured and it's easy to find the things you want. I think this one's quite good because it uses black and white and it's got a lot of different little images on which, and it breaks the page up a bit. But I think this image is like more professional, yeah. This one.
Why?
Because it looks more fun, it looks a bit more interesting. It's got a quote straight away there. This one, the pictures are really good, but these quite miserable drawing pictures, and there's a lot of text not broken up, so it looks a bit more. I think they both continuous with the contents in the cover. I think this one works well because of the blue in the picture. I think these work well, but I'd say this one's better.
I think that on this one they go well, but the fact that you've got blue and then you've got a big red block in the middle of it kind of throws things off. Whereas this one, the black, the red, the yellow, it kind of all links in together. Actually, I think I prefer the Q one because the Kerrang one's just a bit too in your face. I like how they've got the little bits and it's just the big, they've got the big feature and then like little screen caps of different pages because it doesn't tell you, it just tells you what like is in the magazine, what you're expecting, rather than just like, lots of explanations of different articles on that one. It's good, yeah. On the Kerrang one you've got like, they just brief and they like just tell you kind of what you need to know, whereas on the Q1 they've got a bit more detail, so I'd prefer that one because you know more about what you're going to read. Quran one.
Why is that?
Because it's got, like, the pictures are more out there, there's less writing, so I don't have to sit and read for hours on end. And I don't know, it just seems like it's more fun, you get more personality about who's featured in it. As I said before, these ones like show the personality of the band, they show that they're really fun and they're like passionate about the music and that, whereas this one it just kind of shows you that they're walking through some water and it's not really that interesting.